All right, and welcome to another episode of Perspective in Pokemon. I am very excited to have Cool Squirtle Gaming here on the channel. Man, I'm just so happy that we were able to finally make this work because it's been a few weeks in the making, and so glad to have you on today.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. You working with my schedule. I'm a very busy guy. I got two jobs, so and
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, man, I totally get it. But for those who don't know who you are, can you give like a brief, 30, 60-second intro, like of who you are, what you're up to?
Yeah, so a lot of people, if they tune into this, they're not gonna really recognize like who's this guy because
Yeah.
when I do the videos, it's just like that, just the elite trainer boxes, not no face cam. But basically, I'm a PokeTuber. Is that the point of reference that people use? I've been making content now for almost exactly a year. Just focusing mostly on Pokemon trading card game. I have done some small like Dragon Ball Super stuff, but I couldn't really see myself doing both at the same time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's kind of a lot.
Plus finding
Yeah.
packs and cards.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like even Dragon Ball Super is hard to find right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is funny to note that yes, this is my first time ever seeing your face.
Yep. So for a lot of people, it would probably be the same. And this is my overall third time where I've done like a physical appearance.
Well, I feel very privileged that you'll show your face on this show.
Yeah, not a problem, man. I've seen your podcast, video podcast, the vlog. I've been really, following your journey, and a lot of that started with Omash. I remember watching that podcast, and I was like, one, I was very much into watching Omash, and then I was like, who's this other guy? So I started following you more, and I've seen you interviewing different people, which is, I appreciate you doing that. That you're not just, Pokemon trading card game. You've done art. You've done people who've done investing and collecting in different formats.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of I guess the reason why it's perspective and Pokemon. Like, I don't want it to just be, I mean, I appreciate the trading card game. I appreciate the collecting side, but I want to bring multiple perspectives. Not even just the card, just on Pokemon, but like you said, I've had people come in with investing. I've had people talk about, mental health. Like, I want it to be something that, while it's going to center around more of the collectible side, being able to bring other perspectives and point of views.
Yeah, and so I would highly, encourage people to view those previous vlogs. It's been entertaining. Even like I said, yeah, the ones that you do with your family, it's always good to see.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. But going back to you, so I'm curious, how did you first get into Pokemon?
Well, I first started with the anime, right? I was probably like 9 years old when it first came out. 9 or 10, around that time. And I wasn't even like aware of it. I was living in a home, and another kid in that same apartment was like trying to get home so fast from school. And I'm like, why are you such in a hurry? And he's like, come over and I'll show you what I'm trying to see. And I'll be honest, I grew up watching Looney Tunes and like Spider-Man, X-Men. I never really watched an anime. And so Pokemon was my first anime. So we watched the first episode with like the first ever, English Pokemon episode. And I was hooked, watching, which of course we didn't know at the time, but Ho-Oh flying over, that relationship with Pikachu, and just like wanting to know more. And so, there'd be like every week going out and just like a whole group of us watching Pokemon. And then I wasn't aware of like Pokemon cards or even the games when I moved to Puerto Rico, because that's where I was born. But when I went back, that's when like the boom hit. I was there '99, and that was the games, the cards, everything. And so, me and my friends, we would go out to local game shops, buy packs, trade base sets. Um, I was gifted a Game Boy with Pokemon Blue, so that's why I
Yes.
picked Squirtle.
Uh-huh.
And since, like I said, I've been hooked on mostly the games. I'll be honest. The animes after I want to say it was like Indigo.
Okay, what you're saying though,
Um,
Indigo League.
yeah, Indigo League. So Indigo League was like the last episodes that I remember watching as a kid. I really got hooked into the trading card game. Um, I was doing battles, but I was also collecting, and then playing the game, like figuring out this whole Mingxino situation and how to get 100 Master Balls and 100 rare candies, and
Yes.
then losing the file. Oh man! But it was I was hooked, and I would say I was in and out of the anime. Um, I moved back to the States in 2000, and a lot of my collection stayed at my grandmother's house in Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
And so I, given the circumstances in my life at the time, I wasn't able to collect the way I used to. And so, that basically complete set. I don't know what happened. I say that it's lost in the sands of Puerto Rico, basically. Um, but I came back, and I would say that the one thing that has been consistent has been like the games, because it's hard to, for me, right, go to my parents and say, hey, buy me packs on a consistent basis when it was like $4 each, right?
Mhm.
Or more. But they could give me for Christmas or my birthday one game, one system, and that's it, you know? So I, for, I want to say not that long, like 5 years, 6 years, I wasn't really doing collecting. Um, the last set I was able to sort of collect a little bit was like Neo Genesis, Neo Discovery.
Mhm.
Um, and then I sort of just focused on the games, doing linked battles with those link cables,
Uh-huh.
trading, going out to try to get the mythical Pokemon, things like that. Um, and so that's where I sort of focused my attention for a little bit. And then I think it was around 2006, 2007. Um, I was working. I was working at actually at Toys R Us. I was working at
Rest in
Toys R
peace.
Us. Yeah, the Nintendo Wii came out. That thing was just off the shelves. We couldn't keep it in stock, and I forget the game. Oh, Pokemon Diamond. Yep, Pokemon
Mm.
Diamond and Pearl came out during that time, and so I used to work in the video game section, which was to be honest, when you work at Toys R Us, that's where you wanted to work. And so I don't know how, but I was able to get there. And I used to get a lot of like, you know, uh, jealousy from people because they're like, "How did you end up there?" But a lot of it was because I was into video games. I knew how to talk to people. I know how to sell things, and so I was in that very unique position where I was able to, play the game and then start collecting again. I went
Mm.
pretty, I would say pretty ham at that time, where I was just buying packs and I had discount, right? Toys R Us discount,
Wow.
and I and I was basically buying a lot of the EX series. So 2006, 2007, 2005, Diamond and Pearl sets sort of coming out, and then that was basically the last set that I was able to collect, Diamond and Pearl. At that time, I had my daughter. She was born, and so a lot of the money that I was spending on, building decks, going out to tournaments, and playing the games and buying packs, just I just had to stop. I had to
Yeah.
refocus on parenting.
Mhm.
So um, I didn't want to lose what I collected. So I put everything away and basically I kept playing the games. Like I said, Pokemon games. I was in college when Black and White came out, so I really didn't play that much Black and White, um, just because of all the school work and stuff like that. But after that, like what XY, Sun and Moon, of course, Sword and Shield, I really got into it. Shiny hunting and all that stuff. Of course, Pokemon Go. When that
Mhm.
came out, um, it was probably one of the best way to connect with people at that time too, because you used to go and I remember like going to parks and people were like, "Hey, Vaporeon is down there. Let's go, let's go chase it down." And so I've always had the connection with Pokemon since I was a kid.
That's awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you've had to take, little breaks, obviously, like you said, with your daughter, priority shift. But essentially, I like just from hearing your background, your story, it's like you've kind of been almost like one of the OGs, one of the consistent people, more or less, throughout the years, which is actually really cool. Like you don't meet a lot of people who have really been in it for like almost the whole time. That's I think that gives you a kind of a unique perspective on the collection on the cards because you've kind of seen the evolution of a Pokemon.
Yeah, and I introduced younger cousins and helped them with their sets, and like I said, just the overall arc, being able to going into tournaments and having that connection. I think that was something that I really, really enjoyed a lot. And I wish that I had continued, but again, I did have responsibilities that I needed to just
Mhm.
focus on.
Of course. So then I'm curious. So what made you want to start your YouTube channel?
So I think same thing for possibly a whole bunch of us. Is so at the time, Sword and Shield, I was playing it heavily, and then we got into the circumstances that we are now, right? The pandemic, and I went from working, in an office to working at home, and it was adjustment. I wasn't. interacting with people the way I used to. I'm a very social person, and I was looking for some type of medium, and I've always had that connection with Pokemon, right? Being able to connect with people, play with people, do things with people, and I in March when last year when it first started, I did some spring cleaning. Just you had like 3 more time, and I honestly forgot like what I had in my collection because I put it away and I never really looked at it. I just like stored it away. 13, 14 years later, I I found one binder, and I knew I had more, so I had to like figure out where I kept them. And it was like a little treasure hunt. Um, but when I was able to find them, you know, coming from as a player, as a collector, I knew that these cards had value. Like I used to have those old school like Beckett players guide when I used to go to like different tournaments and things like that and make trades, or if I sell cards, like I knew the value of the card. So if I traded with somebody, I'm not gonna trade my base Squirtle for some Hoppet. Like I know my card has value. Um, so I was curious. I was like, these cards have to have value. And it's not to say that I was looking to sell them because I haven't sold. I'll say I sold some, and I'm not trying to say that that's what I'm about. I've done that because I've seen what that could bring to me, basically, and my family. But I just wanted to like know like what do these things look like nowadays? Are people still collecting the way that I would hope that they are? And so I wasn't big on YouTube. I'll be honest. Like I watch things here and there with the kids. Um, my wife enjoyed more YouTube than I did at the time. Um, and so I just looked up Pokemon trading card game, and the first person that popped up was Real Breaking Nate. And I'm like, here's this. Well, to me, he looks like a kid, right? But I'm like, let me see what it's about. He's probably the same age as me, but he looks younger and whatnot. That marriage life is different. Um, so I started watching his videos, and this is when Hidden Fates, right? You had the beginning of Sword and Shield, um, a lot of Cosmic Eclipse. That set, when I was seeing people open packs on Cosmic Eclipse, I was like, oh, I need to get into this again. I needed to. Not even Hidden Fates. Like Hidden Fates was nice, but I couldn't really find it. And so I was like, Cosmic Eclipse I can find. Because I remember seeing them in stores, but not really buying them. And so I was like, all right, I want to get back into it. Where do I go? And so there's a place here where I live, a store called Boomos. And I've been there plenty of times for video games. They sell video games at a very good quality, value, and all that stuff. But I also knew that they sell like different things. So I went into the store one day just to see what they had. And the first thing I noticed was an Elite Trainer box for Shining Legends. I've never heard of an Elite Trainer box because we never had that. We had maybe like theme decks and little things here and there, but not, and this box that's so nice looking. And so I bought it. I bought some Cosmic Eclipse, and I wanted to like show my friends, like if I pulled something very nice, I wanted someone to see it, right? Especially in this pandemic situation, it's not like I can invite people over and like
Yeah.
have fun with them. So I said, let me record it. I was never planning to upload it. It was more like to show later. Because I think we didn't know how long this was going to last. I thought I was going to go back to work in person,
Mhm.
like 2 weeks later. Because that's what I said. Everybody stay home for 2 weeks. We'll figure this
Yeah.
out. Maybe you can come back. Here we are a year later. Um, so I had recorded it. I was I was back as a kid. I was like, I need to collect more and more. And I just saw how much fun people were having. At that point I was watching Real Breaking Nate. I watched Leonhardt. I was watching Unlisted Leaf. I was watching Omash, TCG Funhouse. And I'm not saying these names just to say them. I think this is where I was sort of getting myself hooked into, right? These are the people that I used to watch. Plus a lot of people who were sort of starting into the, you know, realm of collecting, like Agile Fox and cameraman Pokemon. I know he's got a family. He's been sort of doing that, but those are sort of the first few people that I remember started watching with, and I'm like, I want to have that interaction. I want to be able to do that socially,
Mhm.
and so I just said, let me just put the videos out there and see how they do, and um, go from there.
That's awesome. It's so interesting how, and maybe we'll get into this in a little bit later, but just how Pokemon in and of itself, like there's so many, I guess, applications for it, or rather, it can lead to so many different things, like leading to meeting new people, leading to helping people get through a pandemic, stay at home orders and whatnot. Like at the end of the day, it might just be shiny cardboard, but that shiny cardboard led to you starting a YouTube channel where now you've got to meet a few different people, led to this us being able to meet today. I mean, it leads to so many cool things that I think people looking on the outside in like don't necessarily always see, but it's just so cool to me that Pokemon can be an avenue to so many different things in life.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think one of the things that I first recognized um, from the Pokemon community, and not just like the trading card game, but like those who do like Nuzlocke and the streams for the games and whatnot, was just like how positive people were, especially in
Yeah.
the comments. Again, back then, I know people may have an argument as to where things are now, but back then it was it was very positive, and a lot of people were supporting each other, were encouraging each other, um, and I think that you know a lot of people needed that at that time, right? That social connection, positive connection, and not knowing where things were to be in the future, but it was fun and it has been fun completely.
Mhm. And I do want to point something out because you mentioned how today it might not always be the most positive in the comments section, especially when someone is showing, especially when it involves a new set, someone showing how many elite trainer boxes they have or that they sold something. And I just want to point something out because you mentioned how part of what got you back into things, like, yeah, it was the pandemic, like staying home, but you were curious about the value of your cards. You want to look up, oh, what are these worth? These have been around for 15 years, whatever. And that led you to coming back into more collecting, starting your YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And I want to point that out because that's actually very similar to what happened to me. I actually got back into Pokemon because I was going around to garage sale. I was trying to earn a little extra money, so I was going to like garage sales, finding stuff to flip on eBay, like finding that one random mug for $1 that's really worth $30 because it's like from that one tour of ACDC or whatever, just treasure hunting, so to speak. And then one day I saw someone selling Pokemon cards. I was like, man, I wonder what Pokemon's like. What like if that's worth anything. And so I saw, oh my gosh, like Pokemon cards, like they sell, this card's worth $3, this one's worth 20, and all that good stuff. And so I started selling cards, started selling some packs. But and long story short, as I started having these cards back in my hand and these packs, it started getting really hard to let them go. And so
Yes.
I got back into it. And I want to point that out real quick. I just want to point that out because I know so many people, and I understand the sentiment. I totally understand. I don't condone scalping. I don't, I'm not condoning any of that. But so many people are so negative about, oh my gosh, these like resellers, scalpers, and whatever. Like, and okay, you're going to have like people are going to have their own opinions. And while I don't condone that, I don't actually even hate them for that either, because I know there is some reseller or someone who maybe is looking for extra money and they're starting to flip Pokemon cards today. And then in 6 weeks, they're going to be like, I actually want to get back into collecting. Because that's basically what happened to me. I wasn't scalping, but that's basically what happened to me.
I think that more recently, of course, is this whole idea of gatekeeping, right? I don't understand where people feel like they have this capacity to gatekeep a game that has been around since 1999. No, actually since 96, right? Because the Japanese version. But where are you in that whole time? Like, I'm not saying I was there from day one. Like, I was there when I could, and I enjoyed it. And when I came back into it, I knew my limitations. You know what I mean? Like, I could go out and buy base packs, but what is that going to do for me? Right? It's only going to limit me as to how much I can collect. And so, where some might see a negativity with resellers, I think the idea has always been there's values in these cards, and so I never touted it. I never said it on my channel, and I'm not looking to. But there's clear evidence that I have been able to, make a little bit of side money basically on Pokemon cards, and part of that is because of the the amount of people coming into it who first start off just possibly buying a pack to resell it, and like you said, noticing either for themselves or for someone who they're with, this is a lot more. And so I think people who are meant to be around are going to continue to be around, and I think those who are just here hoping to basically, I don't know, put the community down, they're not going to win. I think the community is strong as it is. I try to be as positive as I can, and try to put that out there. Just because it's to me, it's just so much more work to be negative. Why? Like, I can see something, and I'm like, ooh, but if I don't like it, I can just stop watching it or whatever, and that's it. It's more work to start watching something and getting all pent up about something. Just move on. But I think collecting. So I think there's 4 sort of umbrellas to Pokemon trading card game, right? You have your collectors, you have your players, You definitely have your distributors, like people who are able to sell you the packs and whatnot. And then you have people who are just gonna be here for a temporary time. And I think we all can coincide with each other in some capacity. As a collector, I might not buy from someone who's gonna be here in a short time because I might not trust their ability to keep up with the product, right? But someone who's a player, someone who's a distributor, those people I can see myself connecting more with because I can see them, building on Pokemon more and more. Um, but we all start from a place that helps us, basically. For me, it was the social connection. I wanted to be, around. When I say around, I mean like even virtually, right? Like being around people who have the same mind frame, who enjoy the same hobbies, who understand the language, um, and just enjoy Pokemon in whatever capacity. If it's a plushie, if it's a game, if it's a movie, anime, the trading card game, I think we all have common ground. We all love Pokemon.
I love that. And I do also want to point out something because again, I think a lot of people right now they're kind of demonizing selling the cards, and this whole where the market is. And again, I understand where people are coming from. I have total empathy for the fact that there's a dad tonight who can't find cards for their son and whatnot. But again, like I think people forget that this is just a moment. Like this is like maybe it's 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year, whatever, however long it's going to be that people can't find cards, that the prices are crazy. But it's just a moment. Like you pointed out earlier, Pokemon's been around for 25 years. It's not going anywhere. Like if you're planning on being here for a while, like this is just a moment. Like things will get better. We've already been seeing more stock with battle styles than I think we've seen in a little while. And so I think like Pokemon's going to meet the demand. Things are going to normalize or normalize, whatever that means. And so I honestly have such an optimistic view of Pokemon, like for the future. I honestly think like it's going to be so much better, whether you're a player, whether you're a content creator, whether you're a collector, even if you're an investor, like whatever it is that you want to do with Pokemon. I just think the future is going to be like even better than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Definitely.
Yeah, that's my little rant. So I'm curious though. So going back to you and your channel, I guess what has been the best part so far of having your channel?
I would just say again, being able to sort of make a connection with some people and being able to really, make friendships that, maybe we're not seeing each other physically, but I know if I can go into this person's video and watch it and then read the comments, I know what people are talking about, right? I can see where someone is probably teasing someone, and it comes from a good place. I'm not saying that lately, like I said, lately there isn't this outright negativity, but especially with like us smaller channels, right? I see a lot of positivity, a lot of connection, and that's what I always wanted for my channel, just to connect with people, show them what could be potentially out there, and sort of lately, what I've been doing is like reintroducing the idea. Like I get we all want to open a pack. Believe you me, like even right now, I just want to open a pack, right? um, but it's also about teaching people, like if you really want Pokemon cards, if that's the end goal, and especially with the idea of like vintage, you could buy vintage, but if you're looking at grading, you're gonna have to understand you're gonna be paying a premium, right? So lately, what I've been doing, especially with like my channel, but also like on Instagram, is like showing people you can buy cards from like EX series or whatever for a decent price, and sort of have that nostalgia if that's what you're looking for. And so I want, my channel as I continue to develop to be, of course, fun, entertaining, maybe educational if anybody takes from that, but just overall a community.
Mhm.
Um, and I will say that you know I've had the fortunate, you know um, I don't know how to say the word, but luck, if anything, to really connect with people from all different types, and just be able to interact with them, not just on my videos. I mean, like in other people's videos, their own videos, and part of that is to build, you know, on the community, build self confidence, build on relationships, build on strengthening what's already an amazing community.
I love that. And I will say, one of the reasons I love, to be honest, I don't watch too many videos anymore, just because I do have two kids and I work full time and I got a side gig, and I try to make my own videos, so I don't watch a ton of videos. But once in a blue moon, I will, if I get a chance. It's usually an homage video, maybe a Leonhard video, and probably one of your videos is usually what I usually get to. But one of the reasons why I choose to watch one of your videos is that you just have a very just chill, calming, just like, I guess, environment, if that makes sense, to your videos, which is something I appreciate. Like it's just a nice, video to turn on if I'm like I'll turn on your video while I'm washing dishes, you know?
Mhm.
And it's nice to like be able to have that yeah, like I said, like environment, virtual environment, to kind of unwind from the day. And so I guess I just want to point that out, that I do appreciate that. I guess what you bring to the community.
Well, thank you. It's not always easy to hear compliments, to be honest, but uh, but I appreciate it. I think that I do the way that I do just for my own sake, right? I could be, you know, I don't know how to say this. Like I see a lot of people just, you know what? I'll say this. I learn from my own mistakes, if anything,
Mhm.
right? So when I first started the channel, I was opening packs, and of course, the videos were long because I would be opening like 20 packs, and nothing wrong with that. But one of the things I also noticed, and I started taking into account, was one, the length of my videos, right? But also there, you could, if you were really paying attention at that time, you could start noticing that this, you know, explosion around people buying packs and not being available was going to happen, right? There's a very cynical irony that history repeats itself. This is not the first time that this has happened with Pokemon. There's been at least 3 times that you can look at where you see there's this huge explosion of wanting to collect and wanting to open packs, right? Before YouTube, before all that jazz, basically. But if you were around and you were sort of noticing the cues, um, especially for my channel, like I said, I started to recognize I need to slow my own pace. I need to just really focus on what I wanted to do, which was to, again, introduce, new products and whatnot, and have fun with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And show people that if they had a chance to open this set or that set, that it may not always be the Charizard that you're gonna try to go after. You know, I'll be honest. Forget which set it was. I think it was Unbroken Bonds. So the Violet Plume. I want to say is in Unbroken Bonds. And for me, like I know the card is not gonna hold value. Like I know that, but I wanted to show people there's beauty. There's this artwork. If you really take the time that and understand and appreciate that the Pokemon is about that. It's about the artwork. It's about the story that it tells. And and so I started slowing my own pace down, right? Recognizing that this boom was gonna create issues around collecting packs, but also recognizing that, you know, it was important for me to have fun and enjoy what I used to enjoy, right? The simple hollows,
Mm-hmm.
the reverses, and of course have fun when you get those GX or VMAX or whatnot. But really take advantage of the fact that you are holding art in your hands.
Yeah, I love that. And it's funny you say that. I don't even know if you remember this, but there was a video that we did on our channel. Gosh, I don't even remember. It might have been like 2 months ago. I don't even remember. I can't keep track of time anymore. But I remember in the video, I think I was a little disappointed because we didn't pull like a V card or like an ultra rare, or maybe we pulled one. I don't even remember. But I remember you left a comment saying something along the lines of like, it was like an ultra rare is an ultra rare, or like basically saying like hey, you still had like it's still about having fun. And I remember reading the comment. I was like, oh my gosh, he's totally right. Like I was totally sucked in like in during that video. I was totally sucked into trying to like pull that really good card, and I forgot to have fun. And
Like recently, you were hunting for Houndoom
mhm,
in Darkness Ablaze, and I may have forgotten to comment. Like we don't always comment on videos, whatever. But I remember watching that, and I think it was like those mini tints or whatever.
uh,
And I was rooting for you, man. I was like, I want him to pull that Houndoom. I really do. And it's, lately, right, with your videos, it's about showing your daughters.
okay, there we go.
Sorry, man.
You're
It's
good.
the reception down here. Um, so what I was basically saying is like, even those videos, right, where you are saying, I love Houndoom, right? It's not a Charizard or whatever, it's a Houndoom. And just seeing the passion and wanting to pull it, right, and have those moments with your daughter or your wife. I can't remember who was in the video that day. Um, but to me, that's what Pokemon is all about. It's about the next generation. Like I collect, knowing that one day my kids will have my collection, and who knows how much value will be there, right? But I'm also teaching them to take care of the cards and understand the difference between, you know different sets and whatnot. And my son who's 9 now, he's definitely getting more into it. I don't show my children on my camera or anything, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's something that me and my wife had talked about. I always say to her, like, I would like to, like, bring her on or bring the kids on, but I'm trying to respect those lines for her. But it's about the next generation. It's about showing them that it's not a Charizard. It's not, I don't know, other card. It could be crazy out there, but some shiny card. But it's about the fun. It's about the journey.
100%. And that's honestly when you made that comment on that one video, like it helped shift my mind because my mindset, because I realized that, oh my gosh, I think my last like at that point, maybe for like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I had kind of been more in the mentality of like, oh, got to pull a really good card. And so that I appreciate that comment because it helped me shift back. Like, no, this is about having fun. This is about enjoying this with my daughter. This is about just, having a good time and, being able to just provide something fun for hopefully someone to watch, maybe something uplifting about, because my daughter can be silly sometimes. I put the smile on people's faces. And yeah, definitely. I love how you said about the next generation, because this is more on my TikTok, not so much on my YouTube, although I think I should put more of this content on YouTube. But one of the reasons why I love putting out the content, the Pokemon content, especially on TikTok, is that, I'll start getting, these 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 12-year-olds start following me. And then I'll also do a video where I'll talk about like, hey, make sure you're working hard, or like have a great day. These more like uplifting videos, you might want to call them, perspective videos.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
motivational videos.
Yeah, motivational, inspirational, whatever you want to call them. But like, because they came initially for the Pokemon, but then I add those other things into the mix, I get hit up in my DMs or in the comments saying, oh my gosh, I need to hear that. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like literally getting hit up by people who does not even know who their father is, and basically saying like, oh my gosh, I want to be like you when I'm a dad. Like,
wow.
Like, and I don't say that because like, oh, look at me. I'm saying like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, like going back to what we were talking about earlier, how Pokemon can be an avenue to other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like, dude, I totally 100% agree with you. Like, it's about like the next generation, man. Like we can use this to build the next generation up.
Yeah, like I know where people are coming from with the frustration. Again, I get it. I think there's a way to turn that around potentially if you want to, right? It really takes you who want to do that. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's so much harder to be negative. Like, why? And especially when we have very young viewers, right? And that's conscious, even in my mind. Like, and there's nothing wrong with people's content. Like, listen, I make it very clear on my video, right? Like, hey, this is for 13 up, whatever. And it's not about language or whether it's appropriate or not. That's not the case. What is the case is, are you motivating the next generation to collect? Or are you just like pushing down negativity to the point where someone might say, like, what's the point? Why should I do that? Why should I get myself into something if I'm going to be ridiculed? Mm-hmm. No. You know what I mean? Like, we grew up, and I say we, and I'm hoping that's the same for you, right?
Yeah.
But we grew up being ridiculed for liking Pokemon and collecting. And it never turned me away, whatever. But I think we have to be very cautious about that. That we have a platform, and we should be able to encourage those who are watching us, who are younger, that again, that this is about fun, that this is about maybe making something for yourself in the future, right? Because if you're collecting, let's say a gold Zacian, you pull the gold Zacian, that's awesome. 10 years from now, if you still have that card, you are a legend. Because it takes a lot of dedication to keep a collection and build on a collection. And if people just be putting anyone down for collecting or for trading or selling, it's gonna push people away that shouldn't be pushed away.
I think also definitely when people start seeing that when they're new, they assume that, oh, that's just the way it is. Like, oh, that person is showing a video of his ETBs, they must be a scalper. Like that's just because they're new or they just got back into it. Because oh my gosh, I've seen this again so much on TikTok, on Instagram, where people
Yep.
start calling each other scalpers for buying 3 ETBs or whatever the case may be. Like I even called a scalper.
This, right?
Yeah, like showing that. And
Someone's
like,
gonna
oh,
see this and go,
scalper.
"Oh, you're scalping."
Yes.
And let's be honest, this is not my collection. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not trying to put myself out there. My thing is about having fun, right? But I've seen it where people get little things like this and people jump to that conclusion. Why? And a lot of that is because they're hearing it every single time that they open a video or they're going on, you know, some, like you said, TikTok or whatever, right? That's the first thing they see. Oh, you're a scalper, you're a scalper, you're a scalper. Just because you have a collection. Again, this takes time, a lot of effort. I don't plan on selling what I have anytime soon. My selling is mostly around singles and things like that. Just because, again, I've been noticing what my collection from 13, 14 years ago is at right now. But yeah, it's something I've seen a lot where I'm like, and again, that goes back to the gatekeeping, where people are just like, you're a scalper. How can you have 3 shining fates premium collections? And I'm like, do people not realize that they can buy boxes of these?
Yes,
just for themselves.
And that's yes, and that's it's funny because that's actually I got called a scalper a few times on a TikTok video because I'll do like mail day videos, and I'll show oh, look at this box of whatever that I got, which I've been doing since I started TikTok. Well, basically since I started TikTok, and like a year ago, you put up a video like that, and people are like, "Whoa, that's awesome! Oh, lucky you! Oh, sweet!" Like you were saying, building each other up. And I do that now, and people are like scalper, and it's funny though because, again, a year ago you didn't see that, that at all. And so I've actually asked people like, hey, like this is actually normal for Pokemon, for people to show, hey, look at this box of stuff that I got, sweet. And then I've asked people like, are you new? Like, are you like not trying to be mean, but like legitimately, are you new to the hobby? Because this is normal. This is how Pokemon normally is. You see people, buying a box of ETBs or buying a box of tins or whatever the case, whatever you're buying. And so and most times they're like most of the time they end up being new or they just don't even respond.
Like I have a running joke with TCG Funhouse, because he'll tell you like he's a reseller. We all know that. Like if you had known TCG from last year to where he is now, and I don't know, I'm not trying to say anything about anything or anyone. You have to see the growth. If you're just walking into it now and you see him opening a box of ETBs, people are gonna automatically say, "Oh, you're scalping, or you're whatever, or you're the problem." And I look at him and I joke every time that he has like a picture of like, "Oh, here's a box of Urshifu V's that he's gonna open up." And I'm like, ooh, you're about to start the wrath again. Because it's true. People, the trajectory from where it was to where it is today, you do have a lot of people coming into it. And of course, again, the question is, are they coming into it because they want to collect or just add to the negativity? Because it's easy to do that, right? You don't know anything about Pokemon, and you keep hearing the same themes. You know, this person's bad for sculpting, that person's bad for sculpting. You join the train, but you don't know anything about Pokemon. And so, like for me, I don't let it bother me. I don't. Well, it's not like I said put myself out there either, but I think that I try to when I see it, I try to point it out and be like, that's not sculpting. That's not even, you know, how do I say it? That's not even what he's doing or she's doing or whatever about either bringing attention to a certain agenda or whatever, like opening a box or something. It's just entertainment. And he's built the platform to get to this point. You could do the same. Watch his videos, watch anyone's videos, and you could probably get to that same position in your life. And more power to you. But just bringing negativity just to bring negativity again, it's just
Yeah, like definitely anyone who's watching, listening to this, like I was saying before, like the stock is going to go back up. We're going to go back to quote unquote normal. But what we definitely need to do, at least in my opinion, I guess people can do whatever they want. They don't need to do anything, I guess. But in my opinion, if we want to bring more positivity back to the community, like we got to start now. Because just because stock goes back up doesn't mean that people aren't still being secretly negative. Like we got to just put that more goodness, that more positivity into the community, so that these new people and new, whether they're a 7-year-old kid who just got into Pokemon for the first time, or whether they're a 37-year-old adult getting back into Pokemon. Like we want to make sure that it's a positive, uplifting community, because that's what Pokemon has been, and that's why I think it should continue to be.
oh, for sure, man. I think that we need to get back to that place where we just, again, to be very clear, we don't live in this. Uh, what's the phrase? Like this candy world, right? Like we all know that there's negativity, but when I say we, I mean like content creators, should do a better job of like not feeding into it. We should be encouraging and supporting those who are um, just trying to make a statement around building a community, making it positive again, and you know, trying our best not to feed those who just want to bring people down. Again, we don't live in a candy world. We know that there is negativity. Just do better around, uh, you know, keeping things sweet and positive as much as you can. And if you can't, that's okay. Like if you get to a point where you are, and nobody should ever get to this point, but if you get to a point where you're just stressed out and you're dealing with negativity left and right, I would just tell people all the time, take care of yourself. And I always say that in my videos, right? I always say, take care of yourself. And I say that first because people forget to take care of themselves first. You know, there's a, I don't know if it's a philosophy or this I remember reading like this article, right? So you know how they put you in an airplane and they say, in the event that we go down, you need to uh, basically grab the mask and put it on yourself.
Mhm.
And we forget to do that. We forget to take care of ourselves first. We think that we need to take care of the other person, and it creates this domino effect. They, I know we're getting off topic, but in the sense of like Pokemon and making the community stronger, I think that you need to take care of yourself. You need to be able to understand that there will be people who are just going to be negative and work around not feeding into it. Look at the people who are being positive towards you and just encourage that, right? Reply to that. If someone's being negative, don't reply to it. I'll be honest, I don't know um, how that feels, to be honest. Just because I try to not let it get in, basically.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I love that. And as a side note, it's perfectly fine to get off topic. This is perspective and Pokemon, and so we can talk about pretty much anything off topic all day long. But no, and I think it is on topic, to be honest, because at the end of the day, Pokemon can be an outlet for people, but obviously there's more to life than Pokemon, and so I'm totally down talking about you take care of yourself because that is important. Like that's 100%. Like I 100% agree with you. Hey, now we've been going for about an hour now. So I think I originally
Feel
said
bad,
about
man.
30 minutes. No, you're good. Like honestly, I love this conversation. Like if like we had unlimited time, I would say let's just talk for like another 2 hours. But I want to make sure you get some sleep. I know you are a dad, and that dad life requires rest.
I hear you, man.
And
I hear
so
you. But I appreciate it, having this conversation, um, and I look forward to, again, seeing how you continue to progress and making those connections and invite others right into because we can all learn from each other and again be able to build the community that we know is possible and get back to a good spot.
yeah, for sure. So let's just end some quick rapid fire questions, and then I will let you go.
Okay.
Okay, so if you could have a pack battle with anyone, who would it be with?
Um, Real breaking Nate. I
Mm,
think he's a cool cat. I think that he definitely brings a lot of entertainment to his channel. He's always all about positivity. Um, so maybe sometime in the future that could happen. Um, who knows?
Rule breaking Nate, if you're listening to this, make it happen. Do you have a favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookie dough,
Cookie dough.
just
All
regular
right,
cookie dough.
I respect that. What's your favorite part about being a dad?
Seeing them grow up,
Hmm, love that.
it's crazy even thinking about it sometimes. Like I have 4 kids, so my daughter's 14. I have a 9-year-old, and then I have twin boys who'll be 5. And it's just crazy how they start off right. You hold them here, and how big they get.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a 14-year-old yet, but yeah, it's just crazy. You're like, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Just enjoy it, man. And
Yeah.
I used to like tell people, don't tell me, oh, wait till she gets older. No, 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 no. Just let me enjoy now.
Uh-huh. Dude, and oh and man, they grow up so quick. Like that sounds cliche, but
No, it's
it's like
true.
100% true.
It's
blowing my
true.
mind. Yeah.
She's going to high school, and so it still blows my mind.
Oh man, I don't even want to think about that with my daughter. Okay, moving on. Hey, what's a set that you hope to open up on your channel?
A set. Um, Good question, man. If I had to pick one set that I would want to open on my channel, that would be Neo Genesis.
Very nice
Or
set.
actually, it's a tie, sort of. Team Rocket. I want that Dark Blastoise. I want to be able to pull it the same way when I was a kid. Pull the Dark Blastoise. That
You pull
is the best Blastoise design, hands down.
it is a very sweet Blastoise card.
And I haven't bought it. I could buy it for that specific reason. I want to pull it.
Well, good luck with that. If and when you pull it, dude, I will be like in your corner, like, oh, it's so pumped for you.
I would cry, man. I'm like, oh my god.
Right. So then, what's your favorite card that you currently own?
Again, good questions. So I own it, but I don't have it with me because it's actually getting graded. So I have a Gold Star Mew, and I sent it out to get graded. And then it's with homage. So when I get it back.
Is it pretty good condition, or is it kind of played? Like,
oh no. It's, again, if it comes back at 10, I'll be crying. But it was the minute I pulled it, because I knew what Gold Stars were back then, how rare they were. I sleeved it up, put it away. So, could it have like simple things over time? But whatever grade I get, I'll be honest, I'm gonna be happy. Just because how long I've had that card. Mew is one of my favorite Pokemons. Sorry, I told you my. It's definitely one of my favorite Pokemons. You understand, man? This grading system is getting on my nerves. I've been waiting now. I actually sent that out. I actually sent that card out in November. So I'm waiting.
It's been a while.
You know how? So, okay. This is real talk, for real. The first cards that I sent to get graded, or like more modern cards, I just sent it, whatever. I've been wanting to send my other collections, my other Gold Stars and all that stuff. But you know how hard it's been? Because I'm like, I can hold them right now, and I can see them in a top loader, and I'm happy. I want them to be encased, and protected, and who knows what it looks like in the future. But man, to send them out and wait this long,
like letting go of one of your babies for 5 months.
yeah, basically. And I want to send cards more often. It just, honestly, for me, it just gets to a point where I'm like, do I really feel comfortable sending these out right now? Do I wait a little bit longer to see maybe there's progress? Look what happened with PSA, right? I'm like, well, when the prices went up, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy on that. But the CGC part, I'm like, man, now I'm really like thinking, I'm like, should I start sending more? But again, I really have a hard time sending my cards out.
Yeah. Oh, I understand, man. I understand. Hey, last question. What makes you happy?
My children, my family. my wife, my children. That's who I consider my family. They, you know, any time that I can spend with them, whatever time it is, even if it's a drive to do some things here and there, that's what makes me happy.
Love it, man. Love it. Cool Squirtle Gaming, thank you so much again for being on the channel. Real quick, I guess this is the last question. How can people get in touch with you? I know you have a YouTube channel, you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter. How, like, let people know how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so the channel, of course, is Cool Squirtle Gaming on YouTube. It's Cool Squirtle YT on Twitter, just so yeah, they had me put it down more. And then on Instagram, it's Cool Squirtle Gaming, just like that.
All right. Good to know. Go follow this guy. Go watch his videos. Seriously, such a cool guy to connect with. So thank you again for being on.
Thank you, man.